Forget everything they told you about six-figure luxury. The Range Rover that drowns in a puddle, the G-Wagon that rattles on a gravel road, the Escalade that ages like a rental car. That sound. That is the sound of a company that refused to follow everyone else into the abyss of touchscreen dependency. I'm going to walk you through the LX700h, the vehicle that doesn't just compete with the best luxury SUVs on Earth, it embarrasses them. The original Land Cruiser had one job: survive. Through deserts, through floods, through 30 years of abuse in conditions that would turn a German SUV into a very expensive lawn ornament. But there was always one criticism that followed the 300 series platform like a shadow: the fuel economy. Lexus heard it, and instead of abandoning the platform the way other manufacturers abandon their customers after year 3 of a lease, they evolved it. The LX700h drops a twin-turbocharged electrified V6 into the same indestructible body-on-frame architecture that has crossed every continent on the planet. The low-frequency hum you hear when this thing pulls away from a standstill, that isn't weakness. That is torque arriving silently, instantly, and without apology. I want you to close your eyes for a second. There it is. That is the Overtrail-specific differential lock engaging. Not a software toggle, not a haptic simulation on a glass panel. A real switch, with real resistance, that tells your hand before your eyes even confirm it that something mechanical and permanent just happened beneath you. Lexus made a decision that the industry is too afraid to make. They chose longevity over novelty. The materials in this cabin are not designed to impress you at a dealership and then crack, peel, and depreciate by year 5. They are designed to still look correct in 2040. Here's where it gets interesting. Every critic of hybrid technology in off-road applications asks the same question: what happens when the water gets in? Lexus answered that question before the engineers finished the question. The hybrid battery system sits inside a casing rated for deep water fording. We are not talking about a light crossing. We are talking about the kind of water that ends the conversation for every electric vehicle currently being marketed as an adventure machine. And here's the detail nobody talks about. Lexus kept the conventional starter. They kept the alternator as a backup. While every other manufacturer removed their redundant systems in the name of weight savings and modernity, Lexus quietly left the safety net in place. Because the people who buy this vehicle are not driving it to a coffee shop. They are driving it to places where a recovery truck cannot reach them. Let's do the math that the other reviews are too polite to do. A fully loaded Range Rover Sport, a Porsche Cayenne Turbo GT, a BMW X7 M60i, all of them approach or exceed the LX700h's price point. All of them are built on unibody platforms. All of them use air suspension systems that are engineering masterpieces right up until the moment that they are not. The LX700h is body-on-frame, the same fundamental architecture used by vehicles that are still working in the Australian outback after 2 decades of continuous use. You are not leasing this vehicle, you are acquiring it. The electrified V6 produces torque figures that match V8 competitors, with significantly less heat, significantly less stress on components, and significantly more efficiency on the highway. This is not a compromise powertrain. This is what happens when an engineering department is given enough time and enough budget and told, do it right. Perfection in 2026 does not look like a 17-inch touchscreen. It does not look like over-the-air software updates that change how your car feels without your permission. It does not look like a vehicle engineered for a 3-year lease cycle at a profitable service contract. Perfection looks like a vehicle that will start in -40 degrees, that will forward a river, that will carry your family across a country with no mobile signal and no charging infrastructure, and return you home looking exactly the way it left. The LX700H is not the answer to the question the market was asking. It is the answer to the question the market should have been asking. This is the Land Cruiser lineage finally perfected.